In this video I take a close look at VEVOR's BS0 4-inch indexing head. It is just small enough to fit my milling machine, and I completely strip it down, inspect it, rebuild it, and put it through a series of tests. I accepted this review on one condition, that I would be free to say exactly what I think, whether the results are good or bad. And believe me, I fully intend to make use of that freedom. A dividing head can be used to machine hexagons, squares, polygons, bolt circles, equally spaced holes, spur gears, ratchet wheels, sprockets, timing pulleys, splines, multiple keyways, flutes, wrench flats, indexing plates, star wheels, dog clutches, decorative faceting, and many other regularly indexed features. It is therefore an extremely useful and versatile accessory that takes a milling machine to a whole new level. This smallest model in the range, the BS0 4-inch indexing heads, is based on a very well-known design. Brown and Sharp introduced the first indexing heads of this type about a century ago, and the design was later adopted, virtually unchanged, by Vertex and many others. What differs from one manufacturer to another is the quality of the finish, and the price. A BS0 can cost anywhere from around €270 to well over €1,000. Time to find out what this inexpensive Chinese version is really like. Is it a bargain or best avoided? This exploded view is identical to the VEVOR indexing head I received, right down to the last screw. The surprising part is that it comes from a catalogue over 50 years old. Has there really been so little innovation in all that time, or is this simply a case of if it isn't broken, don't fix it? Let's find out. A few things stand out immediately. Together with the tailstock, the dividing head weighs in at 22 kilograms, almost half the weight of my milling machine. It feels heavily built, appears very rigid, but it's also rather dirty. I can even hear metal swarf grinding around inside as I move the components. Another thing, just about everything that can be loose is loose. Not that this comes as a surprise. It's almost a trademark of Chinese machines in this price range. A complete strip down, cleaning, inspection, reassembly and adjustment is pretty much standard practice with equipment like this. Which suits me just fine, because I rather enjoy that sort of thing. Too much grease where it isn't needed, and too little where it is. Yucky pointed set screws, a missing bolt, and a rather odd mixture of fasteners. On the other hand, everything appears to be accurately machined and well made out of quality cast iron and steel. I can't find any unnecessary play anywhere, provided everything is actually tightened, of course, because almost every bolt was loose. Time for the inevitable clean. Right, everything is now clean, smooth, properly adjusted, and free from play. Time to start measuring. With 40 teeth on the worm wheel, one complete revolution of the indexing arm rotates the spindle by 9 degrees. Mounted directly behind the spindle is the plate used for direct indexing, with its holes spaced at 15-degree intervals. So, if I rotate the arm 5 turns, producing a total movement of 45 degrees, the holes in the direct and indirect indexing plates should line up exactly again. Both pins should then drop smoothly into their respective holes without any resistance. That is what I am testing here, and it looks perfect. This confirms that the intervals on the direct indexing plate are evenly spaced. With this test, I am trying to determine the accuracy of the worm and its worm wheel. What difference does the level show between the first measurement and the second one, as the support bar has been rotated exactly 180 degrees according to the indexing disc? I calculate a difference of approximately 0.7 arc minutes, which is a very acceptable value. Well, we are approaching the end of this video. So, while you hopefully enjoy watching me mill a 31 tooth gear, let me give you my verdict. CNC machines in China are every bit as accurate as those anywhere else in the world, so there is little reason to expect any significant difference in dimensional accuracy between Chinese products and those from other manufacturers. The choice of materials is much the same, and as we've already seen, the design itself has hardly changed in decades. In fact, even some original brown and sharp features that could clearly have been improved are still found on virtually every BS0 clone. As far as I can tell from my tests, the accuracy of this VEVOR indexing head differs very little from that of, for example, a Vertex. Yes, there are considerably more accurate indexing heads on the market from manufacturers such as Schaublin, Walter, and Carl Zeiss. But a properly refurbished example, complete with a supplier's warranty, will typically cost well over 10 times the price of this VEVOR. So no, the sometimes enormous price differences cannot be explained by machining accuracy or material quality alone. The real difference lies mainly in the finishing. Apart from the rather random assortment of fasteners that look as though they came straight from a DIY store, this VEVOR arrived in a condition that made it barely usable straight out of the box. It clearly needed a good deal of tender loving care before it became a genuinely capable piece of equipment. I would expect that, with a brand like Vertex, where you pay 3 or 4 times as much, that work has already been done at the factory. So, if you like keeping an eye on your wallet, and don't mind getting thoroughly acquainted with every grubby little component, or, like an idiot such as me, actually enjoy doing that, save yourself a great deal of money and buy the VEVOR. You might want to replace a few of those rather ugly bolts, and that faithfully cloned index pin really isn't a pleasure to use. Improving it would make a nice little project for a rainy afternoon. Once that's done, I think you'll be very pleased with it. By the way, you'll find 2 discount links for this VEVOR in the video description. No, I don't earn a penny from them, and I wouldn't want to. On the other hand, if you want a machine that's ready to use straight out of the box, preferably supplied with a proper inspection report, and price is less of a concern, then buy a recognized brand such as Vertex and pay 3 or 4 times as much. One final word of caution, though. I'm fairly certain that some of the so-called brands you'll find on your screen right now come from exactly the same production line as this VEVOR. Whether their finishing is actually any better, despite costing 3 or even 4 times as much, is something I would seriously question. That brings us to the end of this review. I hope you found it useful. Hope to see you next time.